Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, well, we're tackling something pretty crucial. Understanding all the layers, the safety nets, really, built into the UK's financial services system to protect you, the consumer.
It's definitely a complex area. We've got a lot of sources here covering everything from the big government departments right down to specific consumer groups.
And the aim today is basically to give you a shortcut through it all, a clear map, if you like.
Exactly, because you need that map. The whole reason this structure exists is because, frankly, financial stuff can be incredibly complicated.
Okay, let's unpack that. Why so much regulation here compared to, say, buying a washing machine?
Well, the sources point to a fundamental issue. Financial products are technical, they're often opaque, hard for the average person to really get their head around. You're relying a lot on the provider, the advisor.
Transparency is key.
It's more than that, though. The analogy one source uses is quite stark, actually. Getting bad advice on a financial product, something unsuitable, that can have truly devastating, life-altering consequences.
Yeah, much more serious than buying the wrong lawnmower, as the source puts it.
Precisely. Your life savings, your retirement, your house.
Yeah.
The potential for harm is just on a different scale. That's why the regulation has to be so robust.
Right, and the first line of defense, the name most people might recognize, is the Financial Conduct Authority, the FCA.
Yep, they're the main regulator for conduct. One of their big jobs is consumer protection, trying to stop harmful practices before they start.
And they also focus on making it clearer how you complain if things do go wrong.
That's right. They want a clear process, first to the firm, and if that doesn't work, you've got the Independent Financial Ombudsman Service.
Okay, so potential compensation there too. They're like the frontline shield.
A strong shield, yes, but, and this is important, it's not absolute protection against everything. The FCA themselves are clear about this.
Ah, okay. So where's the line drawn?
The line is between protecting you from bad conduct, like being missold something, and protecting you from market risk.
Which means personal responsibility comes into play.
Exactly. The expectation is that you, the consumer, take some responsibility for your decisions. Provided, and this is the key bit, you've been given clear, fair, and not misleading information.
So the FCA can't shield you from everything? What are the big examples of what they don't cover?
Two main things our sources highlight. First, they can't stop the stock market from going down. That's inherent investment risk.
Their job there is making sure you understand the risk beforehand, not insuring you against it.
Correct. Education, not insurance. And second, there are limits to the compensation available through the Financial Services Compensation Scheme, the FSCS.
Ah, so even the safety net has defined limits.
Yes, published limits. You need to be aware of those boundaries. It's not a blank check if a firm fails.
Okay, so we have the FCA as the referee on the pitch, but who sets the rules for the whole stadium? We need to look higher up, right, to the government departments.
Yeah, absolutely. The FCA operates within a framework set by government. And the big one here is HM Treasury.
The government's finance ministry, basically.
Essentially, yes. They control public spending, set the overall direction for the economy, think sustainable growth, that sort of thing.
And crucially for our discussion.
Crucially, they are responsible for the overall regulation of the financial services sector. They report directly to the chancellor. They draw the lines on the playing field where the FCA operates.
Got it. They set the stage. But then there are departments dealing with the practical flow of money, right? Like taxes.
That brings us to HM Revenue and Customs, HMRC, the tax authority.
And how do they fit into consumer financial protection?
Well, they interact with almost everyone at some point. If you're self-employed, you deal with them for self-assessment. If you pay income tax on savings or capital gains tax or inheritance tax, that's HMRC.
Right.
And even indirectly, think about pensions. Your pension provider deals extensively with HMRC to reclaim the tax relief on your contributions. Making sure the system works tax efficiently involves them constantly.
Okay. And then there's a social safety net aspect.
Yes, the Department for Work and Pensions, DWP, they handle welfare, state pensions, child maintenance policy, plus various benefits for illness or working age support. They're the backstop for basic income security.
So Treasury sets policy, HMRC collects tax, DWP provides the welfare safety net.
Yeah.
Is there anyone focused on, well, crime within the system?
Definitely. That's the National Crime Agency, the NCA. Their focus is serious and organized crime affecting the UK.
And then in the financial world, that means?
Things like major money laundering operations, large-scale fraud, bribery, corruption, even currency counterfeiting. They go after the big threats that could undermine the whole system's integrity.
So looking at that list, Treasury, HMRC, DWP, NCA,
Yeah.
it's not just overlap. It's like different agencies tackling different kinds of risk.
That's a great way to put it. Treasury manages the broad economic risk, HMRC, the tax integrity risk, DWP, the social risk, and NCA, the criminal risk. It's a distributed model, not one giant agency trying to do everything.
Makes sense. Okay, so we've got the government structure, the rules, the regulator. But what if people just don't understand the rules or the products? I mean, who hasn't felt a bit lost looking at financial paperwork?
That's a huge issue the sources really emphasize. Lack of understanding, lack of confidence. It makes people vulnerable. Vulnerable to mis-selling or just making poor choices because they don't grasp the implications.
Which leads us to guidance services, someone to help bridge that knowledge gap.
Exactly. And the main body here now is the Money and Pension Service, MAP-PS.
That PS, right. They brought a few different services together under one roof, didn't they?
They did. And its structure is interesting. It's an arm's-length body sponsored by the DWP, but kept separate from direct political interference.
Okay, that independence sounds important. How's it funded? Not straight from taxes.
No, and that's key. It's funded by levies on the financial services industry and pension schemes themselves.
Ah, so the industry pays for the guidance needed to navigate its products.
Pretty much. The idea is the cost of education is borne by the sector that profits from it, while the arm's length setup helps ensure the guidance is impartial.
And their mission is just helping people manage their money better.
Broadly, yes, helping individuals manage their finances as well as their circumstances allow. And the brand you'll most likely see is their consumer-facing one, MoneyHelper.
MoneyHelper. Okay, what does it actually do?
It covers 5 main areas, according to the sources. First, specific pensions guidance, helping people figure out workplace pensions, personal pensions, all that complexity.
Which is definitely needed.
Absolutely. Second, debt advice. This is crucial, especially for people in England, offering help when you're really struggling financially.
So crisis support, too.
Then there's general money guidance. This is more about building everyday financial capability, understanding budgets, savings, basic financial products, the preventative side.
Trying to boost that baseline understanding we talked about.
Exactly. Fourth, they play a role in consumer protection by liaising with the government and the FCA, feeding information back and forth about what they're seeing on the ground.
So they have a link back into the regulatory system.
They do. And finally, they have a strategy function, trying to coordinate efforts across the UK to improve financial capability in the long run. It's quite a broad remit.
Okay, so that covers regulation, enforcement, and now guidance and education. Is that it? Or is there another layer?
There's one more really important layer, the consumer champions, the broader advocacy bodies.
You mean like which?
Yeah.
And citizens' advice.
Precisely those two, which has been around for ages, over 60 years, right?
Yeah.
Campaigning, reviewing products, pushing for fair treatment for consumers. They're a powerful voice.
And they get listened to by the regulators.
Oh, yes. They're considered a key stakeholder.
Yeah.
The FCA actively consults with them on proposed rule changes, so they have real input into shaping policy.
And citizens' advice. They're more about individual help, aren't they? Local offices.
Yeah, offering that free, confidential, independent guidance, helping people navigate benefit systems, sort out debt problems, invaluable local support.
But there's a key distinction here, isn't there? About the kind of help they can give.
Crucial distinction. Neither Which nor citizens' advice can give regulated financial advice on specific products like, you should buy this particular investment.
Because they aren't FCA-authorized advisors.
Exactly. They provide guidance, information, advocacy. They help you understand your options, your rights, how to complain, but they don't recommend specific regulated products.
Okay, but how do bodies like these tackle problems that aren't just about one person's issue, but something wrong with the whole market? A systemic problem.
Ah, now that's where something really interesting comes in, the super complaint mechanism.
A super complaint. It sounds powerful.
It is. It's defined in the Enterprise Act 2002. It allows certain designated consumer bodies to raise a formal complaint about features of a market in the UK.
Features like
Like the market structure itself, or maybe widespread conduct by suppliers, features that are causing significant harm to consumers.
So it's not about my individual bad experience, but about a pattern affecting lots of people.
Exactly. It's for tackling those bigger picture problems. Things an individual consumer might not even be aware of or couldn't possibly challenge on their own, like maybe opaque pricing across an entire sector or practices that unfairly disadvantage vulnerable customers.
And who gets to make these super complaints?
The government designates specific bodies. The sources list the Consumers Association, that's which, Citizens Advice, the Federation of Small Businesses, and the Consumer Council for Northern Ireland.
That's a solid group. So what happens when they make one?
The regulator, like the FCA, if it's financial services, has to respond publicly within 90 days. They have to say how they'll investigate and what action, if any, they plan to take. It forces the issue onto the agenda.
Wow, okay. That's a serious tool for accountability. It moves beyond individual complaints to questioning the fairness of the market itself.
It really does. It ensures there's a mechanism to challenge potentially harmful market structures or widespread bad practices, even if individual consumers can't see the full picture.
Right. So let's try and pull all this together. It really is a multi-layered system, isn't it?
Definitely. You've got the government setting the overall scene with HM Treasury, then the FCA doing the day-to-day regulating and enforcing.
Then you've got MAPS and MoneyHelper trying to bridge the knowledge gap with guidance and education.
Yep. And finally, you have these powerful consumer bodies like Which and Citizens Advice acting as watchdogs, providing advocacy, and crucially, having the power to launch a super complaint if they see systemic harm.
It paints a picture of a system trying to protect people from harm and bad practices, but also one that relies on people engaging with it, seeking out that guidance.
Absolutely. That personal responsibility element the FCA talks about is balanced by the provision of these guidance services. The protection works best when consumers are informed and aware.
So thinking about that super complaint mechanism again, it's designed to spot those big, maybe hidden market-wide problems. It makes you wonder.
What's the next potential super complaint lurking out there?
Yeah, exactly. What aspect of today's financial world may be something to do with how our data is used or the transparency of digital platforms or even hidden charges? What might be causing that kind of significant systemic harm that only a collective challenge could really bring to light?
It's a powerful question. The system has this tool built in precisely because new harms can emerge. It kind of prompts us all, regulators, consumer bodies, even us, to keep looking for those unseen problems.
Something for you, the listener, to definitely think about. What might need that kind of market-level scrutiny today?